So I was about ready to spend this week running brake lines when I realized that in order to position all my brake lines on this chassis, I should probably put my lift springs in it first. Otherwise, this position's going to be all wrong. So I actually have another Explorer. It's my high school Explorer, the green one, and it already has lifted suspension in it. What I need to do is I need to go grab a truck and trailer and go pick up that Explorer and get the lifted springs and the lifted shocks out of it. So let's go grab a truck and trailer and grab that Explorer.
Oh my gosh, there's someone riding our ass.
I really like this Explorer. I love its stance, I like the color, I like the inside color. I don't like that it has a bench seat in the front, but I'm feeling a lot of nostalgia for my high school Explorer. I'm almost feeling bad about tearing it apart for my next Explorer, but unfortunately, it has some extensive rust issues that have destined it for a junkyard. Here's to hoping that I will enjoy the next one as much as I enjoyed this one. First things first, I'm going to wash some of the mud out of the suspension so that I can actually get a wrench on these nuts. Let's pull the springs and shocks out of this thing. The way that it was lifted in the rear is with what's called an add-a leaf. There's just an extra leaf spring right there, and that's what lifted the rear of this Explorer before. Since I did a spring over axle swap, meaning if you notice on the Ford 8.8, the springs are underneath the axle. When I put the Dana 70 in the other Explorer, I put the springs over the axle. So the rear is plenty tall. I don't need the lift springs out of here, so I'm not going to worry about pulling the add-a leaf. I only wanted the extended shock. So, except for the wheels and tires that I'm going to sell, that's everything out of the rear. Let's move on to the front. That was a pain in the butt. I am so tired of working on rusty garbage. It's always so much more difficult. I swear I'm going to put anti-seize on every single bolt that I put into the white Explorer. It just makes life so much easier. But I got it out. We have 4 shocks, 2 springs, and the fuel filler neck. Now, I still need to get the clutch pedal and the brake controller and a couple other small things out of it. But for now, this is the majority of it. I learned something when I was taking the shocks off that I thought I would share. In order to get the top of the front shocks off, I have to undo this nut. But the problem is that this rod in the center will spin. So what that means is that I can't just take a socket and put it on there, because now I can't hold that rod. So what I always end up doing is having to stick a crescent wrench on top and a normal wrench on the nut, and in a tight space it can be really hard to get these off. Plus, this top bit really likes to strip, especially if you're using a crescent like this. But I learned something. All you have to do is pull down this boot here, and if you pull down the boot, you're left with a nut right there. So then I can put a wrench there and a socket on the top, and it's way, way easier to get off. So I never realized that. Just pull this boot down and you can get to a much better place to hold this rod from spinning. Maybe I'm the last person on earth to figure this out, but hopefully that's helpful to somebody else, because I never knew that there was an extra nut under there. These are Rancho shocks. I have no idea if it's the same on others. Join me next week when we install this suspension in the Cummins Explorer project. Thanks for hanging out with me in my garage today, and I hope to see you next time.